Hey my friends, part 2 of my beginner guide series. Today let's talk about beginner mistakes. Beginner mistakes are done quite easily in this game. You may do a couple wrong choices and then you're screwed for weeks and maybe months if you really mess it up. And you may just spend all your tokens or waste it on stuff that you don't quite need. So let's start with number 1, and that is use your token wisely. This game will reward you with a steady income in terms of hero tokens of like 35 to 45 token every single day, even if you're low in rank and just reached chapter 5. If you're higher, you should be easily getting 70 to 80 to 90 token a day on average if you include all the income streams that you can make from the game. If you don't know that yet, just watch the first part where I speak about all the ways of earning hero token. So just watch that in case you haven't seen it yet. I'll make sure to link it down in the video description below. So the ways of spending your tokens unwisely are mainly separated into two categories. First is people get like 100 or 200 hero tokens, they get into the dungeon, they play a couple matches and they reach the store. And in that store they buy, for example, gear or the 24-hour gold bonus. So both choices aren't particularly bad. You get nice rewards for the value that you put in, but you have to keep in mind for like 18 or 16 hero token, you only get 24 hours of gold that you could passively gain without spending any token at all. So if you spend token there, you should do it at your own very own risk. And it really only ever makes sense if you really want to reach a chapter that's like far above chapter 10, where you really need to get every single way of getting gold in the game. As a player that just wants to have a nice way of getting hero token every single day, you should never buy the 24-hour gold option, since it's basically just a waste of your token. Next is the gear that you can buy. So many beginners make the mistake that they buy legendary or immortal gear in the dungeon, which costs them 44 to over 100 token, and it's usually pretty nice for them since they get a decent combat bonus, since the gear is pretty nice and pretty strong. But what you always have to keep in mind, as long as it's not immortal gear, there'll always be better gear, which is ultimate gear, right? Like immortal gear, legendary gear, epic gear, whatever gear, you don't buy that in the dungeon. You'll always get this kind of gear later on in the game, just by getting the AFK rewards, just by waiting, just by getting into, let's say, the clan store. I can just simply buy legendary gear for 3,500 token. How many do we got? I got 33,000 clan coins. I could buy all of this and I would still be left with the majority of my clan coins. So don't buy that stuff for 44 token, that's just a waste. Just play the game calmly, do your missions, do your dailies, slow wins the race in this kind of game. It's an idle game, so you do have to wait and just do your missions, do get your rewards, unless of course you don't really care about getting any token and you don't care about your investment, then just advance as quickly as you like and have as much fun as you want. But if you want to make as much of your investment as you can, then you should progress slowly, just take what's really worth it to you. And in terms of the dungeon and the dungeon store, you should neither get the 24-hour gold bonus nor the gear option that you can choose from. There's the epic shard. I think you can get 2 epic shards for 25 hero tokens. That heavily depends on the current prices of epic heroes. It's kind of a gamble. since epic heroes have been plummeting recently. You can do that, it's alright. No big deal basically. If you want that, then get it, it's fine. Other than that, I wouldn't really buy anything in the store. It's just not quite worth it. So that's it for the first point on this list. Make sure to spend and use your token wisely. Don't waste it on the dungeon. Next part is, if you get heroes, make sure to get a decent team. Like, watch the former videos of mine, get a proper elf team, get a proper beast team, get a proper mech team, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just get one proper team and stick to it. You can always add to it, no problem, but don't make the mistake that many other players made in the beginning by buying cheap common teams or very, very cheap teams that are like $40 to $50. Those won't really get you far in the game. You'll just be stuck in very early chapters. You'll get stuck in chapter 2, maybe chapter 3, but you for sure won't make it to chapter 5. And if you do, you'll get stuck soon after. So just make sure to get a proper team, which costs like at least 500 to 600 tokens. Watch the earlier videos. I've spoken about cheap comps, I've spoken about very strong comps. Just base your team off of one of these teams maybe, and really do put your mind behind it, because if you really were to get a common team that will not get you far, then you either have lost your investment since you can't pull it out. You can only sell once you're you can only take out your token if you get to chapter 5. Naturally, you can always sell it on the marketplace, but you'll definitely make it out with a loss, and a quite big one at that. So don't do that. Get a proper team if you want to play at all. If you can't afford a proper team, then don't recommend you to play this game, since you'll just lose money and time, and it'll make you go frustrated. I've seen that quite a lot in the Discord. I'm pretty active there. There are some people that don't quite know what they're doing. They get cheap comps, and now they are stuck in the beginning of the game, and they can only advance further if they spend more tokens. So lesson number 1, use your tokens wisely. Don't get a cheap team, don't waste your tokens, just make a wise decision. Get a strong team that's maybe cheap, but you shouldn't get a cheap team that's not strong at all. You should always get a team that at least gets you to like chapter 7 or chapter 8, and one that you can just get more copies of to improve further in the game, since then you'll just make it further and further, get more dailies, etc, etc. Okay, next lesson. It's the arena. So I've seen many people doing what's called a shit tier team in the defense team. So they just take out all the good ones and just exchange them for level 1 units, which was a valid strategy to some degree, but now you won't get any hero tokens from wins once you are below the MMR of 800. So always make sure that you are above 800 MMR. Make sure to make a defense team that has a lower defense rating than your attacking team. Make sure to include 1 or 2 heroes that are a bit weaker yet than your average hero. And then for your attacking team, use the strongest heroes, so that way you will win the most games and you will probably stay above the MMR of 800. So that's a very important lesson. You will get lots of token every single day, and you won't be in a pinch once you have below 800 MMR. So always watch that number. If it goes below 900, 850, whatever, make sure to set up a stronger team, stronger defense team. That's it for lesson 2. Let's come to lesson 3. Don't rush the game. You can rush the game until chapter 5. Once you reach chapter 5, you will receive 20 token every single day from the missions. To complete these missions, you need to be part of a clan and win a couple missions, like win tower battles and campaign missions. Everything else can be pretty much done every single day anyway. but you have to keep in mind that these missions will be refreshed the next day and the day after and so on. So keep that in mind. If you rush the game, if you do 20 chapters in one day, you basically lose 9 or 10 days of quests that you could have gotten. So that's basically 200 tokens that you're losing out on, maybe 400 even if you include the arena wins that you're not getting. So you will easily miss out on 200 to 300 token on during that time once you rush the levels if you reach chapter 5. So you can rush from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and to 5, but once you're at 5 and you receive the great hero token earnings from the quests, don't continue to rush the game. Keep that in mind. It's a very important lesson that many people and players have to learn in a painful way, and afterwards they of course get a little mad in the Discord saying they're stuck, they can't complete the daily mission. So take it slow, get your tokens every single day. At one point you will be stuck anyway, unless you reinvest some of your token, so make sure that you take it slow, get strong quick, improve your gear, get your idle rewards, invest a couple minutes in the game every single day, get your rewards, and that's pretty much it. But don't rush the game. This is no game meant to be rushed. Next lesson, I pretty much already spoke about it. Reinvest into this game. If you make 2000 token a month, why not reinvest 1000 token into the game? Why not get a couple rares? Why not get a couple legendaries or even immortals once you get the funds to do so? Heroes are very cheap now. You can get a very great team these days for very little money. You can pretty much invest $100 to $150 and you should be able to make up a great team. Just watch one of the previous guides where I spoke about strong comps in the current meta. They are all pretty much up to date and discuss the current strengths of such teams. So make sure to reinvest some tokens so you won't get stuck, because if I were to not be able to advance any further in the game, I would lose the daily tokens, which is 20, so I could only do like maybe get the weeklies, but that's going to be harder as well. The dailies could be done anyway if I just did the summoning and the ascending, but that will essentially cost you tokens and you won't really make any profit at all. So make sure reinvest, otherwise you will only get tokens from the Colosseum, and that's of course far too little if you really want to take this game seriously. So reinvest, get great team, like get the elf team, get the beast team, get whatever, just stick to it and make sure to ascend your heroes once you get your stuff. Like for example, let's say Gomayo, I can just get one more copy and then I can easily get her to Epic Plus and so on. So that's a pretty nice way to get further in the game. You'll make great profits anyway, and you will make sure to get even more daily hero tokens, and once staking is released you may get even more rewards. So think like an investor, reinvest some of your gains, maybe take out what you invested in the first place, but always make sure to reinvest some of your gains to keep playing and to keep earning. That's it for the video. I hope you could learn something from this. You should really try to avoid all these beginner mistakes. Lots of people do them, or at least one of the list. Even I did some of these mistakes. I bought gear in the dungeon, legendary gear at that. I paid a lot of token for that, and it wasn't worth it all, since now I can just buy them for almost no coins just easily in this market. I get lots of these every single day from the AFK rewards, so it's not worth to get legendary or even immortal gear in the dungeon. Make sure to avoid these mistakes, learn from them, and think twice before you do anything in this game that includes spending hero token. Okay, always get a second opinion from the Discord. Make sure to talk to people, and then you should be able to do good. Anyway, that's it for the second part of the beginner guides. Tell me in the comments if you have any other helpful tips for people that just started out, that don't quite know the game yet. Tell them, make yourself known by leaving some tips, get a good reputation in the Discord, and then we'll just talk things out and discuss in the comments as we always do. Anyway, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. See you soon in the game.